Alright everybody, welcome back to the moth-hawk project. It has been some time, yes, but no further ado, let's get started, shall we? So, I had a little bit of a problem. The main problem was that I actually, no, I had an intern for one day, 2 days ago, and then after that, because that takes like a lot of effort and a lot of time from me in my mind, I was actually exhausted, so I couldn't do a lot of, I was too tired to do doing the stream. However, I did absolutely well, I did absolutely nothing that day after that, but today I actually did. I picked up again and went to do my regular stuff, like what is it called? Oh yeah, working on the drawing that I actually need to be done by February. Of course, this drawing, I now finally got the ghost done, and now I need to get more stuff done as well. I already figured out what I want to draw, so that's already good enough for me right now. So I know now what I'm gonna be drawing next. Don't let me just gotta be putting that. There you go. So yeah, and today we're gonna be working on the on this thing again. Why are we going to be drawing on this, and why am I drawing like this is because of getting the tree parts, giving the tree parts a more natural look towards it. I'm probably gonna do that as I'm probably gonna be doing that more, so I'm gonna be probably working, gonna be redoing the whole damn thing, so I'm gonna be probably redoing the whole tree part, because of I learned that I need to do that, so therefore I need to do it anyway. It will cause a lot of troubles, yes, but it will give me more of an it will give me a better effect later on. I'm just a little bit sad that I need to do it. That's for sure. Anyway, so yeah, I was just really tired. I was still tired today, but that was yeah, probably, doing my daily walk actually fixed a lot of things. So that was a good idea. Ooh. So yeah, it's getting a little bit cool today. There is no snow yet to fall, sadly, but I'm hoping that the snow will come because of how the snow actually because we didn't have snow like almost 2 years, so that's why. Sorry if I'm a little bit not talkative. It's because I'm like really thinking of what I wanted to say. And yeah, I have been busy, quite busy, and I think next week I will be busy too much, and then the day after that I also will be busy. So it's gonna be a lot of busy work. Lots of busy work. I'm not one of the persons that is like very good at busy work, but it is one of those things I like to do in the first place anyway. So yeah, being busy. Also trying to think of what I'm gonna be buying once the winter sale is coming up. Or at least I'm hoping that there will be a winter sale, even though that the autumn sale has already been arriving from Steam. The idea is that I want to buy some certain types of games, but I actually don't want to buy the full price for it. It's a little bit expensive, and I always wanted to wait for better prices anyway. Because you can wait, you don't have to be impulsive and just buy it already. Because I have a feeling like, it's probably going to be like instead of 30% off, it's going to be 50% off or 40. It all depends, you know, on the situations at hand. And yeah, did I not do it too pointy? I did it not too pointy. Damn it. Ah, trees. What you gonna do about it? Not much actually. But yeah, I fixed the ghost. Now I only need to fix some more stuff on it, but it's getting better. So good for me. It's just a real hard thing to do because, you know, I have zero experience whatsoever in drawing such things. Well, I have experience in drawing, but I don't have experience in drawing ghosts, so therefore I'm literally always 2 steps behind in such drawings. Like I'm now with this. Like, I have no clue how to draw. I have no clue how to draw a tree. Therefore I need to learn. But to learn is trial and error. And trial and error gives you a lot of things to work with and things you need to work with, otherwise things go bad. I think this is actually quite decent to know. But yeah, being back on the moth-hawk project is truly a thing. Ooh. It's like looking back in the mirror and see like, ah yes, the child I have been working on. That thing I need to really work on. But of course, you know, it's a thing that you can always work on anyway. It's just, you know, being tired is not a very smart move, and then trying to draw and focus, because then you will get totally drained, and if you can get totally drained, it gives you a no-go. Well, at least, you know, it gives me a no-go. I cannot fully focus on something like for more than 2 hours, otherwise, you know, things are gonna get really drastic for my mind. It's like working with stress, but then instead of stress, it's just, you know, being tired. The energy I have to spend on things is limited. Therefore, you know, I need to spend my energy where it needs to be. And spending the energy to rest up is also a valid reason. Because, you know, you cannot rush things. You cannot rush art, so therefore, you know, you just need to wait and casually just work your way towards your goal. Even though if your goal is like, you know, maybe 2 months away, then still, you know, work on it and see how far you get. I think I won't be able to get it finished by this yet, though. And this time, I don't know if I have enough time. I hope I will get that drawing done by within 2 weeks. But that drawing is a pain in the ass to draw, because there are so many things that are still missing, and I don't want to rush it too much. Of course, you know, I've been working on it like 2 hours a day, and that still works quite well. I'll show you later on. Once it's like fully finished, I will show you what I mean. With this one, it's actually more like, you know, a really, really big thing to work with. What I like about this drawing is always that, you know, it's all about the detail. And the more detail I work on it, the better it gets. Of course, you know, it doesn't get always better. It just gets better more in my vision. And that makes it quite good for me to have a motivation like that. And always taking breaks always helps, you know, refining the things that you look at, like, ah, well, you know, if I want to draw this again, I would definitely do it another way around, or do it somehow different. Oh, my head. Jeez. As you can see, problems with head is always happening. And that is always a thing that makes me tired. And therefore, you know, the energy that I need to spend on this is limited. But no need to be hurrying here, or no need to be seeing it different. I know what I'm going to be drawing, and I know how to draw it anyway. Like, I have drawn now the basic things that I need to draw. I'm just going to be finishing this part up and then put another part down and then merge them both. Therefore, you know, I don't need to have to worry about overwriting the things that I'm already drawing. Man, oh man, wow. But yeah, I have been excited, and then seeing other people draw as well, and actually looks like, oh man, they have spent so much time on it. And then, you know, when you look at it, you can see how much time they have spent on it. That's always good to know. I always like to draw and then, you know, get things up and running. So, what more need to be done? Let's see. So, the tree needs to have leaves. Yes. The tree needs to have leaves, and therefore I need to do then, and then I need to have the blur action, and therefore, you know, reducing the amount of stuff that is there to represent. It's all doable. Don't get me wrong there. It's all doable, it's all fleshed out. You know what you need to do. The main problem is that, you know, you need some motivation to do some stuff. And, you know, you also need to have a clean head. And I didn't have that, so therefore, you know, I'm a little bit out of schedule. But no worries there. Still have my still had enough energy to do other things as well. Also, I did some cooking. I actually made some I made actually some Thai curry, and that actually turned out pretty damn decent. Even though, you know, it was a little bit of a messy business. It's always with curry. You always have your whole furnace fully messy up. But yeah, it does create some things. And oh my god, so much. So much tree pots. Oh well, so much leaves you need to draw. This is the main issue that I always have with this thing. It's like, you want to draw, yes, but you want to also make sure that you have enough leaves to draw. And you want to make sure that texture is looking good. And that is always a pain in the ass to do. Because, you know, I do not possess the art style that makes things easier to draw. I do not. I like a lot of things. I'm trying to learn better at it, but with all the things that I have, it sometimes you know, when you try to make a drawing, you know, it looks horrible. It gets better or not better. It depends situational on how it works. For instance, yesterday I actually, 2 days ago I actually tried something again to just see if, you know, I got improved, and yes, after two hours of working on it, I got improved upon it. Yes. Still though, you know, it's still a long way to go before I will be ever able to do it. But, you know, it's I think, you know, if we just take like 2 years of working on it, I will probably improve like big time. And I want to learn it. And why do I want to learn it? It actually is because I actually want to know how to draw bloody fucking clothing. Clothing and humans is a very hard thing for me to draw anyway. It doesn't come natural to me like, oh well, I just don't look at faces. Yes, true. I don't look at faces. It's actually the voice that always is like, oh, it's that person. It's never the face. Because I always look away from people. Or try to avoid eye contact most of the times. It's one of those things you can have when you a little bit of an introvert in those cases. But yeah, it gives me a negative benefit when, you know, try to draw something and you're like, ah, well, look at that. I forgot totally how emotions work. Congratulations. Now I need to figure out how to do emotions. Woohoo! More reading stuff. And, you know, those things that you need to read is, it doesn't matter that you do the reading, but it's always very important to see that, you know, you're improving upon your own self. And that is, like, all the things considered. be the best thing to happen, you know, when you try to figure out like, oh, wait a minute, hold on a second, this is happening right now. Oh, all right. I need to now implement that emotion, so therefore, you know, I need to put that in there. The main problem is that my design techniques is not fully there when it comes to those things. But yeah. So yeah, trees. What you gonna do about trees? Well, first thing you want to do about trees is actually making sure that you know what trees do. Trees create oxygen. You the leaves create the oxygen, and the trees are like big giant boys that help you, you know, help the environment remove its waste and provide food and all that stuff. Also, apparently, you know, if you remove too many trees, the ground underneath it actually becomes very unstable because roots are actually very good at upholding trees. So if you remove a lot of trees, then when there's a heavy rainfall, actually parts of a mountain can actually just instantly just collapse. That's a very scary thought, you know. You're just walking and then suddenly the whole damn ground just gets away from it. So you see a road and then suddenly the road is gone, or part of the road is gone. Yeah, like a piece of a puzzle. But yeah, that's why it's important to have roots and vegetation in the area, because it actually gives a hold fast on certain types of things, like heavy rainfall won't be that much detrimental. I believe also. Yes, there you go. I believe also if you add vegetation to an environment, more vegetation will be shown later on because of how competition works. So you have like multiple vegetations, and then suddenly, you know, more things get attracted to it, and eventually it will build up its own ecosystem. It's quite a cool idea. Like eventually, you know, when a tree tries to produce apples, for instance, and you have like things that want to eat that apple, they're gonna be eventually there will be things that will eat that apple, like caterpillars, or I don't know, monkeys maybe. I don't know where my apples come from. I think they come from forests, but it's very strange. You know, I never saw a wild apple tree. It's one of those things that you don't see that often anymore. It's like, well, what is the origin of an apple tree? It's like, I have clearly no idea where the origin of an apple tree comes from. Is the apple tree coming from the northern regions? Is it from the southern regions of Europe? It's all like very strange. Like I know that apple trees exist for a long, long time. Where do they come from? That's always the biggest question. Like, what kind of animals actually eat apples? Do deer eat apples? Yeah, probably. But how do they get the apples then? Are they using their antlers to just get to the apples by standing on their hind heels and then just trying to rub those apples to try to drop those apples on the ground with their antlers, or is something else? So yeah, it's a very interesting thing to think about, like what makes an apple tree, and where did it come from, and what kind of animals do eat apples? Naturally, of course, not by feeding. But yeah, it's an interesting thing, and that's why I like this actually quite. That's why I like these trees also. They remind me of, like, you know, just casual trees that just are just there. And as you can see, the idea here is that we're going to be adding some. We're going to add the idea of this into there. But now comes the best part of it. This time, we made sure that the leaves are connected. Therefore, you know that it is like a big giant bush. So if we can then implement that also in the other parts where it needs to be, so for instance right here, maybe this one, for instance right here, this one, I maybe want to add some more stuff to it. Well, this one is, for instance, a very good one. I want this to be there, right? I want this to be there, but now we only drew like only the leaf part, and we ain't want to do that. We actually want to have like a full-fledged out tree. So then I need to figure out, like, all right, how are we gonna do that? How do we get that from point A to point B? Because, you know, like with the stones, you need to figure out like how to do certain things. And it's all about trial and error, yes, but it would be nice to know how to do it. And I cannot find any I can find, like, you know, ways of how people draw trees, yes, but I cannot find the particular way of doing the thing. I know that people do it like this, and then, you know, put that like so, and then, you know, make it more dense and dense and dense until they have the right amount of things, and they sketch it. But then you will have a sketched out tree. With this detailed tree, however, it's different. And that makes it unique. It makes it unique, and because it's unique, I have a feeling that, you know, we need to find a way to do it properly. Well, at least, you know, I want to do it properly. So therefore, you know, I have this need of, you know, figuring out how to do it. Even though, you know, it might, you know, even though it might a little bit backfire or not fully function the way I wanted to be doing, but at least, you know, I will have the a feeling of, you know, that I figured it out myself. So to get that tree up and running properly, we need to adapt. So we made a mistake. We made a mistake while drawing the leaves. Yes. So if we made a mistake, we can either erase it, or we can work with it, or work around it. And the idea I'm going to be using what I'm going to be using after, you know, drawing this part is I'm going to be fixing it. So therefore, you know, I'm going to work with it and fix the parts that need to be fixed. It might sound like a little bit of busy work, but because I not have fully done every single leaf or every single bush on the treetop, it is doable. Therefore, you know, it's advisable to do it so that, you know, the look will be looking better afterwards. All right. So yeah. I hope everybody right now is actually quite enjoying it. You know, just me just rending on. Oh boy. And we need to do that. Yes. And we need to do this because nobody likes that part right there. Alright. So yeah, nobody likes, you know, having failures, of course, but it's important to learn from your mistakes you made while drawing or while writing or whatever. Figuring it out and then just implementing the fix to it or implementing a way around it. Like, you know, I have like a very terrible way of telling things. It's like very strange because of, you know, how I view vocabulary and how I pronounce things. So therefore, you know, my English is not the English that other people would say, like, oh, this is English? Yes. But if you look at my English, it's different than your English. Because I learned English different. And I saw that I learned myself English different. So therefore, you know, it's a little bit more harder for me to understand, like, everybody, like, if somebody like knows how to speak proper English, like an American or Brit, they will use like different words for certain things. And I don't have that. I have like this. I use the basic words. Well, you could have used so much better words for the same solution. Blech. So many S's. All right. So yeah, I'm trying to do my very best on getting this thing up and running, and hopefully this is all that needs to be. I'm just gonna be double checking the time already that we have been spending. 20 minutes, 26 minutes already. All right. So once this thing is done, once this part of this is already drawn and then colored in, I think then we're gonna be leaving, because this is how much my mind is capable of, because of well, the elliptic absences are not very nice today, because they actually make me really, 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 really tired. Really tired is never a good idea to be. And then you would ask, like, why didn't you then just not cancel the moth-hawk project today? I was like, no, because I actually want to draw, and I actually want to progress on it. It's bad for me to just, it's bad for me to just, work on it and keep on working on it. It's important to work on it and keep consistency in your work environment, and therefore, it's important that we are doing it. Even though it might, make me a little bit less energetic, it's still better than leaving it all just by like, well, we will do it next week, because next week we'll be having this. We will have the same problem, the same thing again, because of how the mind works. It's like, well, you didn't do it last week, so why would we care about doing it this week? And then you stack it up until it gets forgotten into oblivion. And we don't want that. We don't want that. We want to make sure that we're doing it. And of course, the fatigue and the fatigueness is actually going away after a certain time. So there is no real problem here. It's just me being mentally fatigued and not physically fatigued. If I would have been physically fatigued, I would have said so myself. But no, it's just mentally. Yeah, it's sometimes a bit hard, to do everything. But yeah, I'm very happy. What? Jeez Louise, stupid brush always. Oh, the pencil is always like, oh yeah, you want to press that button, right? I'm like, no, I don't want to press that button. Stop it. So yeah, doing things, making things work. But yeah, this is always why I like this so much. So if I learn something, I always get fatigued. That's the main reason what happens. So then, well, you have this, you have the idea of like, oh well, if you have, if you learn something and you get fatigued by it, that means that you learned, right? And that's exactly what happens. And that's exactly what I mean. So I don't mind getting fatigued. It's just really annoying when you're trying to do, you're prepped the whole day for for like, yes, let's do a draw, let's do the drawing today, and I'm like, well, mine just got really, really, really tight all of a sudden, and it's like, why did you get tired? And then the mind is like, I have no idea, but I'm tired now. It's like, thanks. So yeah, it's a little bit strange. It's a little bit strange how the mind works sometimes. Being mentally fatigued or physically fatigued is like two different apples of the same coin. But why is this always a thing that happens? Stupid thing. There you go. Alright. So, anything I want to add to that whole conversation of me just babbling on? Not really. It's just, you know, a little bit difficult. And it's always a thing that happens. And I always want to keep you guys in information, like, well, this is why I, you know, went away for like 2 days, or I believe 2 days. Yeah, 2 days, right? 2 days only. Yeah. Because, you know, I was like really tired and I was like, I cannot do the drawing because of how my mind works. Damn it. And I always look forward to drawing. Come on. Get to the main point. It's a really, really, really rough thing to do this. Ugh. Alright. Mm-hmm. Such a hard thing to draw this. Ugh. Making this bubble. And I'm not very good with, how do you say that? Spectral? No. Spatial, yeah. My spatial insight is not the best. I normally work with uh, organic shapes and not, you know, circles and all that stuff. I always draw them on the fly and I'm like, well, you know, this is a fine play and this is fine. You know, this is fine on the, but like if I would draw a face, I would always draw with the eyes and then the nose. So no, and then you have like this, and then this is Charlie, you know. Charlie looks a little bit tired. No, no, not tired. No, and then also very old, and then you know, and then you have a wizard with a top hat. I don't know, with a beard as well. So yeah, you get the point. I always work with the eyes, and I really am learning on getting the basic shapes up and running, because then the organic how do you say that? Organic the organic shapes are then far better if you work with circles and all that stuff and the basic know how the whole body works, like have the right ratio. So if you have eyes, now eyes are almost 1/3 of the ear, so always go for that. If you and then you have, like, you know, the nose is like super tiny normally, and then the mouth is like bleh. But it's a work in progress. I'm learning, so no worries there, no worries at all. I just really no, there's nothing in there. All right. All right, time to get myself some colors in, because holy shit, I need some colors. I need some bloody damn colors in this drawing. Because I need to learn, I need to see where, alright. Not too bad, not too bad. And you can see already that this is so much more natural looking than this one right here. So that's what I'm gonna be aiming for. I'm trying to get more natural looking on the grass and trees. Now I know what I need to do. All right, good. Now we actually need to erase some stuff because, you know, colors. How do I do this? But I need to lower this down to the size of a maggot. There you go. Oh, well, I can actually just get. I just actually can get this one. That will work. Reduce the size to around this one. Yeah. And then once we're done with the coloring, we can. Once we're done with the base color, I can then add it the drawing itself. Now the hardest part begins. Erasing the parts that are not necessary. Keeping the parts that are necessary. So yeah. Anything else I want to add to that? No, not really. This is actually the most relaxing part of it because of how little you have to do. You just have to concentrate your eyes on the brush, on the pencil, and then, you know, work towards your goal, which is, you know, going around it and erasing all the stuff that has gaps. And I know that, you know, it might sound a little bit stupid, but you cannot use the fill tool on this. You can't. The magical fill tool actually doesn't work on the drawing because of how the drawing actually exists. Oh. Well, that's not good. I want green and I didn't get green. Alright, there you go. So, if I would press the magical tool selection, so the concation tool selection, it will not detect the drawing. Oh, well, it will detect the drawing, but it won't detect all the gaps. So all of it will be very badly drawn in or colored in. So it's not useful. It's absolutely not useful because of how the amount of detail is put into it. If I would use, like, I know, a circle, for instance, and yeah, maybe then it will not be that hard. Or well, then it would be not that. It will be more useful, but all the detail actually causes the magical tool brush to be like, sorry, but I cannot calculate this. Or well, it could calculate it, but it won't be able to do it because of the boundaries between it. The, what is it? Tool, please. The grow and shrink selection. The grow and shrink selection. And the feathering and the fuzziness, it's not very helpful, because if I now select this, for instance, and I would come on, I would select this on this layer, I would select this part. Yeah, it's not really working, isn't it? It's not really working, isn't it? No. It's not even trying. It's not even trying. It's like, you know what? I give up already. So, yeah, magical toothbrush ain't gonna work. So, it's quite funny to see that, you know, the magical toothbrush actually doesn't know how to select such parts of the drawing because they are too detailed. So it doesn't even want to compute everything because it's too close to each other. So yeah, there you go, and that is actually quite easily done. So, so yeah, we now we now only need to do this, and then multiple and then soon after we draw the yeah, soon after we draw the whole damn stick of it, it will look nice. So no need to worry here. We just need to add the color to it, and then we're almost finished with the part that we need to do today. As I always said, baby steps are the key to victory, so no need to worry about anything. Just do it, just relax, take your time, figure out what you need to do, and then press on. Because there's nothing worse than just, you know, getting your ass handed because you went for a rush. Because nobody likes rushing. Because if you want to rush something, then you know things will go bad, really badly. And that's why it's so important to just, you know, keep everything, you know, intact. Take healthy breaks if you really need to. And if you do take your breaks, always make sure that you have like a way of finding back what you need to do. Like for instance, if I look too long on a screen, then well, you know, my eyes will hurt. But that's normal. Because you know your eyes don't get enough moisture, so therefore your eyes will get really painful. But if you take like a break after 2 hours, it's very decent because you know your eyes are gonna get moist because you're going outside or doing something else. And you can blink again. A thing that, you know, I sometimes forget. Blinking. supposed to be on the automatical statement, and sometimes you know you need to force yourself to blink because otherwise you know your eyes are gonna get really dehydrated, and you don't want to do that. All right. We're almost there, and then I can actually press the alpha button, and then we can just fix the whole damn drawing, or the whole damn coloring of the green. Oh well. It has been already a good day. Knowing what I did, you know, going outside, doing stuff, working on the thing that I actually want to do, what I actually want to finish by before February, and hopefully, you know, make a cool looking t-shirt out of it, or at least, you know, gotta do that. I just need to know how much time I have left though, because I actually need to double check if I need to do a hurry or do I need to work a little bit more faster. Or I just calculated it wrong. Yeah. And my head. God damn it. My head is already like, no, you cannot continue your work. You must stop now. And it's like, please, just 1 sec. We're almost there. Don't need to worry about too much. Alright. Is this good enough, or do I need to fix this part? Yes, I need to fix that part. We're gonna do that. Fixing it up. That's not the right tool for it. If we want to do this, we need to do it in the original tool. There you go. Alright. Now I need to get this one up and running, get it to 75, making sure that I do this. Erase a little bit of the rough parts here and there. There you go. Alright. That's good enough. And now we're gonna select the color we need, which is green. And let's start with some darker green. I'm gonna take this one, to go to 75 on this, and then it should be fine. We're first gonna do some darker green, so we want, you know, some darker green here and there. Oh. Hold on. And we're gonna go for alpha. There you go. There you go. And now we're gonna go for even more darker green. What I want to do with the tree. There you go. And then we're gonna go up, way up to lighter green because we need to light this part up. We need to light up these right here. We need to light up there. A bit there. We actually want to go like a circle with this. So like this. And then we actually want to merge. Fix the parts that have not been blended well. All right, looking good, looking good. I like it. A little bit more, a little bit more. We need a little bit. And a little bit more. There you go. Right. Now, if we add the blur tool to it, so we're gonna just add the blur tool to it to see what happens. Filter mask. We want to not go for a motion blur. We actually want to go for a blur. All right. So this is what's gonna happen if we look at it. So if we look at the background, it actually works well. Yes, it does. Awesome. So if we now add the parts that we have right now, we can add the parts that we need, and you can see that this thing is actually in the background of that. And once the blur tool is, and once this blurring is gone, so we can see that. Yeah. If we then add this to the background, we can then blur it up and then make it look a little bit more. Yes. All right. This actually looks quite decent. I like it. I think that's it for now. I'm gonna be saving this bad boy because I need to. And I hope I'll see you on next time. Until then, I wish you all a lovely day and bye.